Hey guys, it's Allison Beatty. I'm the general manager at Basecamp Express in Woburn, and I am coming to you today with our daily den meeting. Today we are talking about the Wolf Adventure Grow Something. So part of the Wolf Adventure is you have to plant something and take care of it for 30 days. I did a daily den meeting probably about 30 days ago now, where I planted some seeds, and you'll see here that some of them took root. My tomatoes are going great. I have some chard in there. The carrots and the squash did not go so hot, and the Brussels sprouts are going great, except that they are squished and tired of being in this spot. So what we're gonna do today is take my my started seeds, and we're gonna move them to a bigger pot. And we're gonna put them all together because it's a lot deeper than what they were in, and it's got a lot more space. And then once they grow again, I'll have to remove them again. It's not quite warm enough yet out where I live in New England to have them outside yet. So I'll keep them inside, but I'll move them in and out every day so that they get some sun and some real light, and rather than just window light. The other thing I'm going to talk about is this cool recycling garden, and I'll talk about that one at the end. So what we're going to do first is I have my pot, and I've broken up all the dirt already. It's already just a little, like, it's nice and squishy and got lots of space and lots of air in there. Okay, and I'll start with my chard. Okay, so the cool thing about these pots is that I could just plant this pot right in here, and they would disintegrate and compost down and actually feed the plant. But because I'm going to put so many in here, I don't want to do that. I just want to rescue the plants out of this this moss. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rest this here so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to dump out what I have already, being careful not to break it up too much. I lose some, and that's going to happen. No big deal. And then I'm going to break up what I have right into my pot. Oop. And make sure I hold on to those roots and keep them together and plant them back in there and right into my dirt. And I'll show you. There's my very sad Swiss chard plant. And then I'm going to take my note that said chard, and I'm going to stick that back in here so I know which one is which. And then I'm going to put a little bit of dirt around it, and maybe even right on top of it, so that it's covered up and it has a place to grow and a place to go. And then I'm going to take my Brussels sprouts. Again, these were doing really well, but they are sad and they need more place. So we're going to dump it out gently and as carefully as possible. And we're going to break up without losing our roots too much. We're gonna find a spot for our Brussels sprouts, and again we're gonna cover them up a little bit. Oh, I see those over there. I hope that this works out for us. Okay, and I'm gonna put my note back in, and then the last one I'm gonna move from my first ones are my tomatoes. And I'll show you something about the tomatoes. They are going like gangbusters. I have like 5 or 6 tomato plants here. So I'm actually not gonna break this one up at all. I'm just gonna dig it a little spot right in my pot and tuck it in. And then I'm gonna get some more soil around the edges. Again, showing my tomato plants now. And I'll take my note and put those back in. And then the last thing I wanted to add today was my recycling garden. So something cool about there are some vegetables that are really quite resilient. And what you might be able to see is right here, this part of this green onion was cut because I had taken this green onion before and I used it. I cooked with it. And what I did was I put it in some water, and it grew all of this in the last week just by sitting in water. And so now if I plant it in dirt, in soil, and I treat it like any other garden plant, it will continue to grow, and I'll continue to be able to use the same green onions that I bought a couple of weeks ago for a while. So I've got that one in there. Actually, I have 2 green onions that have been growing, And so I'm gonna get this one in here. And I don't have a label for these because, well, I grew them from recycling. And then the last thing I'm gonna do, the last thing I'm gonna do is to water my plant. All of my plants, my Brussels sprouts and my chard. And we wanna give them lots and lots of water today because they're moving, and moving is stressful. Just like moving people is stressful, moving plants is stressful for the plants. So we're gonna give them lots of water, but not too much. We don't wanna soak them so much that they rot, but we definitely wanna give them a lot of water. And hopefully some of the ones that were getting sad for living in a really small container are now larger, now have the opportunity to grow larger in this bigger spot. So that is our digital den meeting today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, guys. We hope to see you soon at camp.